Hi, this is Goddess Runic Seer. I wanted to talk about the post that I had put on, one of the posts, about the book of Daniel in the Bible. You know, King Nebuchadnezzar got together his magicians, sorcerers, enchanters, and astrologers. He said, I've been having this dream. It's bothering me. The astrologers come back and go, get your servants, tell your servants the dream, and we'll interpret it. King Nebuchadnezzar is like, nah, I asked you. I asked you. Why can't you do it? So then what, they make up some lie. What do they say? Only, what do they say? Where is that? Oh, there is no one on earth who can do what the king asks. No king, however great and mighty, has ever asked such a thing of any magician or or enchanter, or astrologer. Astrologer. What the king asks is too difficult. No one can reveal it to the king except the gods, and they do not live among the animals, humans. Some of us are animals, huh? So this is Daniel 2, 10 and 11. So, what does that say? If they're saying that no one can do it, why are they asking? Hold on. Okay, so where did I leave off at? My mom just came out. And this is a prime example of the devil using your loved ones to block you from speaking on God's message, right? This is why for the longest time I didn't come on camera and start talking or anything, because my mom would say things that would discourage me. But I'm no longer letting her do that. I'm not saying my mom is the devil. I'm just saying the devil uses people that you love to stop you and block you. But and anyways, so what was I talking about? So the thing about it is, if God can only interpret dreams, why did they say, get your servants, tell them about the dream, and we'll interpret it? So now they're saying they can't do it because, what they say? No king, however great and mighty, has ever asked such a thing of any magician or enchanter or astrologer. What the king asks is too difficult. No one can reveal it to the king except the gods. But you said that you would interpret it if he told it to the servants. So then what you're saying is those group of people that he entrusted in are not of God, not those people that he chose to trust, not astrologers, enchanters, sorcerers, and magicians, period. It was those group of people that were not of God. That's how I interpret it. Also, too, Daniel wouldn't eat any of the royal food and wine that was provided by the king, right? Because he wanted, I don't even think they're called servants, but he wanted them to eat the royal food, right? And the wine, right? Daniel didn't want to. And I know one soldier, he's not a soldier. Oh, the commander of the king's guard. He said that, he's scared of the king and that he will feel some type of way if you don't eat the food and wine, right? Because what would the king think if you're all skinny and scrungly and they're all healthy and whatever, right? So he said, well, I'll give take 10 days, eat vegetables and water, eat vegetables and drink water, you and the commanders, come back and see who's healthy. And the commanders were healthy, right? Because the royal food is not healthy. Royal food's not healthy. I mean, look at King Louis I don't know, the one that had all them wives. King Louis the Eighth. I don't know. So he persuaded him to not give the royal food to Daniel and his friends. I don't know if they were servants. I guess servants. He persuaded him to go against the king's word and start feeding them vegetable and water instead of the royal food, right? That's symbolic too. That's symbolic too. That's very symbolic. Because so he proved something in the food. And like, your royal food and wine is not superior or whatever. I'm kind of like losing my thought process with this. Because again, like I said, the devil will use your loved ones to stop what you need to do. Stop your vision. Stop what you're supposed to do. Every time I do a video, it's like somebody coming out saying something to me. It's like, I'm going to get this video out. I'm no longer afraid of how I look to put myself out there because of how I look. At first I was, because my mom would put things in my head. And it's like, well, I can't get this fixed right now. I've been going to the dentist for like 2.5 years. I'm tired. I just can't do it no more. Maybe next year, maybe in 6 months, I don't know. But I've been going through obstacle after obstacles. There's obstacles thrown in my way to slow me down. And I cannot let this slow me down. I just can't do it no more. God says, let's go. It's time. So I have to just take what I have and use it, right? That's what an alchemist does. You take what you have and use it to how you need to use it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can't continue doing what you're doing when I'm telling you that you need to do this. Had to just get up and go. I mean, I remember I sat here and I knew I've been doing this whole death spell unbinding for like 4.5 months, and I was sitting there and I was about to go into an episode, and I'm like, what else do I do, Spirit? Lord, what else do I do? And he said, you got time. Go get up and make a video. Because I'm supposed to speak on a death spell. I'm supposed to speak on this. And that's why I keep speaking. Not because I'm obsessed with it, but because it needs to come out. Because people don't speak about it. I don't even think if anybody survived, have they spoke about it. or knew what they would get, uh, or knew what was happening to them. There's another part of Daniel that I really, really wanted to talk about. Oh, about how he interprets the dream of Nebuchadnezzar, right? Of King Nebuchadnezzar. You know, the large statue with the awesome appearance, pure gold, it's its head. The chest and the arms are silver, and the belly and the thighs are bronze, and its legs of Aaron. I can't say it right now. And the feet partly of Aaron. Why can't I say Aaron? And partially like clay, right? I think Daniel interpreted the dream for him, but I think King Nebuchadnezzar interpreted it a different way. He's thinking that he is the gold. He's thinking that he's the head of the statue, because below him is another kingdom where, see, yeah, okay, so he's saying he's pure gold, right? He's the head. Then another kingdom will arise inferior to yours, which would be the arms of the chest and arms of silver. The third one of bronze, which is the belly and thighs. And the fourth, strong as iron, but it breaks. But iron breaks and smashes everything. And as iron breaks things to pieces, so will it crush and break all the others. So it's a divided kingdom. Some will have the strength of iron, and will be, and some will be brittle like clay. Yeah, partially, the kingdom will be partially strong and partially brittle. So then what happens? Nebuchadnezzar makes an image of gold. And everybody is, because I asked God, I said, well, why does Daniel get thrown into the lion's den, right? Because I'm not even to that yet. I'm still on Daniel 3. Okay. I'm going to get this message out. I'm no longer being stopped. I'm going to get it out. So, okay, like I said, I asked God. I'm like, well, why did he get put in the lion's den if he interpreted a dream already, right? Well, it's because King Nebuchadnezzar made this whole statue of gold, right? He misinterpreted it, because it's like, just because the kingdoms below you are inferior to yours does not mean that you are the best. I mean, it doesn't mean that you are good. And, you could have the mightiest kingdom, but it's not holy or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because we can interpret that inferior to meaning several different things, right? Because we don't know who the kingdoms are. We just know they're inferior to the pure gold one, right? So King Nebuchadnezzar, and you don't know how they're inferior too. We're just looking at the kingdom as a whole, like, oh, well, the kingdom as a whole as being great or bad or inferior or superior, but we're not thinking of maybe one aspect of the kingdom, right? Because then it talks about God made a kingdom that cannot be destroyed. So what kingdom is that? In the time of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, nor will it be left to another people. That is Daniel 2:44. It will crush all those kingdoms and bring them to an end, but it will itself endure forever. This is the meaning of the vision of the rock cut out of a mountain, but not by human hands. A rock that broke the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold to pieces, right? So then that means you're not, just because you are the head, the gold, doesn't mean that you can't be broken, right? So I think King Nebuchadnezzar misinterpreted. So he makes an image of gold, right? And says everybody needs to worship the image of the gold. Image of gold. That's how Daniel gets into the lion's den, because he doesn't worship that. So he's the rock. Daniel's the rock. The kingdom is what it's not, but it's not, it's cut out of a mountain, but not by human hands. But Daniel's the rock. He's the kingdom. So are we saying that people with psychic gifts, chosen ones, the chosen ones are the rock cut out of the mountain? Because Daniel had some gifts. We are to break all of the kingdoms. We are to spread God's word and interpret things. Because originally I wasn't even going to read Daniel until another tarot reader talked about Daniel. Because I'm a prophetess too, so I always go to the prophecies in the Bible. And I went to Daniel 12. Where it was talking about the end times. At that time, Michael, this is 12:1, Daniel 12:1. At the time, Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise. Archangel Michael is arising. There will be a time of distress such as has not happened from the beginning of nations until then. Right, but that's the times now, right? Because we are in the time of distress. And when it says not happen from the beginning of nations until then, this is new things, It's because what has been done before is not going to be done again. It's just going to be done in a different form. This is 12:2. Multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, others to shame and everlasting contempt. So people will be judged. But I take this as too, that spirits are going to make themselves known. So seeing dead people, talking to dead people. Because, I always wanted to help people into the light. Multiples who sleep in the dust of the earth. Now, I was thinking more of like ghosts coming back and spirits, right? But I think now I'm talking about people who have stayed hidden. Oh, multitudes who sleep in the dust of the earth. It's waking up. It's waking up to your purpose, right? He said some to everlasting life. Those are the people who wake up and do God's purpose, do what they're supposed to do. Others to shame and everlasting contempt. Those are the ones who don't wake up, who don't know who they are. Those who are wise will shine like the brightness of the heavens, and those who lead many to righteousness like the stars will ever, forever and ever. Again, that's talking about God's chosen ones, right? There's, I guess there would be the prophecy. Because this is my goal, this is my mission, is to lead many to righteousness, to save souls. And then it says many will go here and there to increase knowledge. So then there's not one set place to increase your knowledge. There's not one place to go. That's why I was saying that God does not restrict, nor does he limit. He encompasses all. So he's not just in the Christian church, he's everywhere. Many will go here and there to increase knowledge. It's not in just one place to increase knowledge. It's in multiple places. It's here and there. But I see that these churches got people scared. And people wanting to perpetrate a fraud. People have wearing masks and fakeness, right? That just leads to that African story that I posted, right? Where she's a saint by day and a dark witch at night. These people put on masks. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to church no more, but I'm just saying it's not always in a church. Well, you'll find some type of knowledge. But then also in the very beginning of Daniel, you have to be careful who you give power to, who you crown. Because they can interpret his dream. Because they were wearing a mask. They were fake. But, they want to attack the real ones, though. Okay. Anyways, I wanted to speak on Daniel. And thank you for listening. Peace.